Here. Oh, come on.
Whoa, now that's a logo, dude. Fantastic. And what is it? It's a logo to something from the past that's come back to join us in the present. This is the 2025 Volkswagen Microbus. Of course, they don't call it the Microbus. They call it the ID Buzz. So I guess if you're like really high, if you say ID Buzz really fast, the person sitting next to you may in fact think you said Microbus. Maybe that's how that works. But this is the ultimate deadhead machine. It's also a great family minivan because it has, oh, so much room in it. And like its very, very honored ancestor that has been seen by, you know, when you think about it, the Volkswagen Microbus is something that's known by everybody, even real young people, because they were so many of them on the road for many, many years, and they've come to represent a certain type of lifestyle, a vagabond, nomadic type of lifestyle. And what they've done with the 2025 version is they fully electrified it, but it still is a rear-wheel drive, rear motor machine. Want to know more about this? I know I do, because I think it's a beautiful creature. And there's nothing like it on the road today except for this. So let's take a look, shall we? You know, they really didn't make it like they did before in the old days until today. The Volkswagen Microbus vanished and was, many thought, gone forever. But this version might be a lot closer to that thing, to that Volkswagen vagabond idea than you may think possible in this day and age. That's one of the funnest things about this vehicle is they did it. And they actually built it. It has a hugely vast 127.5 inch wheelbase. It has, you can get it with all-wheel drive, which would mean two motors, one for the front wheels and one for the back. But the standard version is what we have here, which is rear-wheel drive with a rear motor, just like the original, except in that case, of course, it was a gas engine, and this time it's an electric motor. It's heavy. It weighs nearly 6,000 pounds. But is more than suspended strongly enough to haul all kinds of people and things in it. And there is so much room in this vehicle that you're encouraged to bring along everybody when you go to the Deadhead Festival. But the beautiful thing about it is it really captures a spirit, I think, of the original. And yet this is a very, very contemporary vehicle. What else do we have? Well, our rear-wheel drive system consists of one motor that puts out 282 horsepower and a whopping 413 foot-pounds of torque, which is quite impressive. The battery itself, which like all fully electric vehicles is incredibly heavy. It weighs, what does that battery weigh? Let's see, I'm looking, 1,230 pounds is what the battery weighs. The range on this vehicle is about 230 miles, which is probably, that's its big shortcoming, is the fact that it doesn't have more range, because you want to get in this thing and just turn on the tunes and go. But unfortunately, that's a limited range. But it's still fully electric, and you just plug her in, and the maximum amount of charging you can get from a high-speed charger is about 200 kilowatts, I believe. Or 200 volts, what is it? It's 200. It's 200 volts, I think. No, wait, that can't be right. I'm sorry, it is kilowatts. But most of the high-speed charging stations like Electrify America and those other guys, they'll give you 350, but this can only take 200 at a time. So that does lengthen your charging considerably. considerably. But of course, a lot of people that would buy a vehicle like this are going to put a charger in their house, and that every night they'll plug it in. If they use it for like daily activities, they're going to plug it in every night and charge the sucker up. So, I mean, that's something that you just have to determine if your lifestyle is conducive to that kind of thing. Because with the exception of that limitation as far as its actual range, it's got all the bona fides that you need in a good electric vehicle. I mean, it drives beautifully. It's got plenty of power, plenty of pep, and plenty of torque to haul all your stuff. Matter of fact, I think this thing says the maximum towing, it can tow a trailer up to 2,600 pounds if the trailer has brakes on it. Now, would you do that with this vehicle? Well, like with all fully electrics, it would probably destroy the range that it has. But if you're going a short distance and you're pulling a trailer, you can do it. It definitely has the chassis to do it, and it definitely has the torque to do it. And like all wonderful minivans, not only is it roomy, but the access to the rear seats on both sides of the vehicle has a huge sliding door that is power assisted. So you can just rock and roll. You just touch the button and it opens and closes for you. So, you know, like in Fast Times in Ridgemont High, when Spicoli and his dudes show up at a venue, they go to a venue, and they're all crammed in the van, and that door opens and all the smoke pours out of it. You know that you have arrived when those guys fall out of the van. Now, here's an interesting story that you may not know. There's a song at the end of Fast Times with Ridgemont, Fast Times in Ridgemont High. Is that what it is? I can't remember. It's been a long time. But Jimmy Buffett song written specifically for the movie is played during the closing credits. And in order to get into the mood to write this song, Jimmy Buffett, he didn't hire, but he contacted his friends Cheech Marin and Tommy Chong, known to you as Cheech and Chong. And they got a Volkswagen minivan, and they did some, it's my understanding there was smoking involved. And they filled up the thing and drove around in it for a while. And it kind of put Jimmy in the right spirit to write a song about Spicoli, one of the main characters in Fast Times in Ridgemont High. God, why can't I get that part of it right? Fast Times / Ridgemont High. But anyway, true story. That's how that song got written. And the vehicle was all important in that movie for the representation of the surfer lifestyle. So where we live right here, there's not a lot of surfing going on. But if you want to actually use it as like, I don't know, a regular minivan, you absolutely can, because it's got all this room, and you're going to be decent on the environment compared to a gasoline-powered vehicle because it's fully electric. So with that said, let's take a little bit of a closer look and find out about its ways. And since it is Halloween, please don't forget your pets. This being a minivan, it has tires. And here we have Continentals. And the tire size is 235/50 R20. So these are 20-inch wheels. Massive. And I could tell you it also has massive brake rotors and all that kind of thing. But I can't see them because of the wheel cover. But it looks it's from a stylistic point of view, it really fits the vehicle nicely with these big black suckers. They're nice. They're good. And the Continental, these all-terrain tires are pretty good. Another big limitation of this vehicle is it doesn't have a whole lot of ground clearance. I know some people try to take it off on a picnic. You can do that, just be careful because you don't have a whole lot of ground clearance to play with. Oh, let me show you one thing. You're wondering, I know you're wondering. Are you wondering? Does it have a frunk? Well, not exactly. If we look at the front of this, because the front of this is the front of this. I mean, seriously. This is what we have in the front. It's not a trunk. It's not a storage area. It's, hear that? It's doing electrical things. What you have up here is you have access to your windshield washer fluid. That's pretty much it. You could probably stash something, but you can see right in here, this is a huge crumple zone frame type deal to absorb front impact in a collision to protect you, because this is the front of the vehicle and you're sitting right there. So there's not a whole lot of, I'll shut this. There's not a whole lot of space there between the two, yet they have fortified it such that you would be protected in a front end collision. You're not going to front end anybody with this thing, man. You're going to be going nice and slow. You're going to be content to be there when you get there. I mean, that's what this vehicle is for. Although it scoots along quite nicely, you could get there with a big degree of speed. Now look at the size of that sliding door. Access is absolutely fantastic in this vehicle to get to the second row. The third row is not as easy to get to as I would have thought, because it's not like an aisle situation. It's got a legitimate bench seat in the second row, which is great because you can bring that other dude that, you know, had no money and had no ride but just wanted to go hear some music. So there you go. And here we have an enormous, look at the size of the rear gate on this thing. It's big. Everything on this thing is big. As we open, whee! Now we got some strange things here that you can, I'm sure you can configure this however you want to. But see, we have a third row right here. And in order to deploy the third row, we pull back like that and it locks into place. Or you can fold it forward, and then you have your 60/40 up here. The amount of space in this vehicle is enormous. And I got it on my notes, which is up in the front seat. But I think all told, with the second and third row folded, it's like 127 cubic feet of space. And you've even got a decent mount back here when the rear row is deployed, which is pretty good. This is interesting. You got your little, they put these little storage bins here, which are, this is all removable, by the way. You can configure it however you want, but that's why they have it set up right here. So you can get a lot of stuff in here. The one thing you can't get in here is any kind of a spare tire. Instead, it has a flat repair kit, which is underneath there. I've examined it, and it is there, I assure you. But look, you got map lights for your third row. You got all kinds of good stuff. But mainly, you have lots and lots of space. So not only should you desire to haul a bunch of people and some of their things, you can, but you can also haul a lot of whatever if you fold the seats down and everything else. And like I said, the big square opening here is fantastic because it really does give you a lot of space. And beautiful LED lights all over the place. I mean, they thought it out. They thought it out. So there's our access port for our electricity. And I've forgotten how to open this. I have opened this. I think there's a switch up front, probably. But in there you do have the AC and the DC connection. So like I said, up to 200 kilowatts of charging. And interestingly, you don't have a big winder here, but you got this little guy right here, which I believe opens. I don't know, I haven't been back there yet. Hi, how are you? So we have a really, really roomy family wagon, if you want to look at it that way. But it's so much more. I mean, the thing is, people sometimes talk about cars having personality. This car is just loaded with personality. Everything about it. And even the seasonal theme, you'll see I can't say it, the seasonal theme when we do the interior of the car, because it's Halloween, very close to it. And the vehicle knows it, man. It knows it's Halloween. So there you go. What a beautiful machine, huh? I think it deserves to have the interior examined, and then we really need to get on the road, man. I mean, we have places to go. Oh! Welcome, this is Count Boots, and you are at Monster Chiller Horror ID Buzz. And there we have our theme. We have a haunted house and scary tree, scary, ooh. And we have a jack-o'-lantern and bats. Look at all the bats all over the controls. Amazing, amazing. Well, anyway, let's turn the car on. There we go. Welcome inside our wonderful, what do you call this, a surf machine, a concert goer, a family thing? Well, the ID Buzz has done an amazing job of capturing the very spirit, as I was told by a person who used to own a VW Microbus, of the original. It's a lot like it, although they pointed out to me something I didn't think about. But in the original Microbus, you actually have a little bit of space up here that you didn't have on the Microbus. She told me that the Microbus was like you were here with the steering wheel way up, like right there. And I'd forgotten about that. That's very true. But anyhow, the interior of this thing is most capacious. You have this this beautiful panorama with these not very beautiful pillars in your way here, which you gotta look around those, folks, when you're coming up on intersections and stuff, because it will hide vehicles of all types. But anyway, we have how do I get this thing to unlock here? Let's do this. I'll put her in drive. There we go. You put it in drive, and you have your power steering back. Then you put it in park, and I guess it locks up again. But there is our main little instrument cluster, and there's not a whole lot to it, really. I have it set on a navigation set, but route guidance is not active because I haven't selected a destination. But in the middle, you can see your speedometer, and then a place for your route guidance. And this is your fuel gauge. More important than anything else, it's how much battery you have left. And right along with that, trying to get my reflection out there we go. Right along with that, you have projected range, which in this case is 158 miles. So I got to watch that because I got to go charge this thing tomorrow, and I got to find a place that'll do that. That's within 158 miles. There is a place about 30 miles from here, so I'll be fine, just fine. But it's a real interesting way they've decided to do it. It's kind of it's more pod-like. And it's more and more manufacturers are doing this, so this is all run together in one connected thing. Like there's just one flat screen that goes from where the instrument cluster is over to where your center screen is. And on the ID Buzz, they've decided to keep them separate. This little podette, which is where it's all the information you need, though. There's your temperature. There is your transmission selection, which we'll get into in just a second. Cruise control, and this, if we were cruising, we would have various items in front of us. If there was a car in front of us, it would show that there is, and the following distance. And all this is controlled, of course, on the steering right here. And you have three, not one, not two, but three different cruise control modes that you can go into. You have your regular cruise control from the old days, which is it just regulates the speed, and that's it. Then you have adaptive, which will regulate the speed and the following distance. So the speed will change as the following distance is set to your specifications, giving you about 4 choices about how close you want to be to the vehicle in front of you. And then we have the last one, which is partially autonomous driving, which will also steer you into the middle of the lane. So you can just pick which one you're comfortable with and go with that. On the right side, what do we have here? Well, we have a view here that changes slightly. It doesn't change a whole lot. It just makes that go away. That's all it does. But that's fine. That's just fine. You have if you want to talk to the car, that's there, right there. Here's your okay with your, if you do this, we can slightly alter what we're looking at. There we go. And here we have the miles we've gone on this particular start. Route guidance is not active. Now what we don't have is I have set this up to record the overall mileage. since charging, but it's not doing that now, and I'll have to look into the main screen to find it. That is becoming so common. It's so much more difficult. Look at, that's weird. I like it though. But anyway, it's getting more difficult to easily change and view your trip odometer. The actual odometer for this vehicle has over 10,000 miles on it, which is amazing for a press vehicle, and it's holding up very nicely so far. It seems to be. I do not know about its maintenance record, but it certainly is pretty much squeak free for the most part. You can go over the right kind of road that you'll get a few creaks out of it, but not much. Overall, it seems to be a pretty tight package. Here on our left-hand side, we have our lighting array situation. It is now on automatic. You can also select whether or not you have low beam headlights or high beam or off or automatic. Oops, oops, oops. There we go. I'll leave it on automatic. But you also, this is very strange, you have a climate control entry right here. You have your maximum defroster for your front, and your rear defroster is all the way over here on the light screen, nowhere near the climate controls, which is kind of bizarre when you think about it. But this is a bizarre little car. It's supposed to be. They always have been this way, the Microbus. They like to go with bizarre stuff, and I can't blame them for that. It'll be real interesting when I charge this thing, see how long it takes, because it takes a maximum of 200 kilowatts, and I have a station I go to where the maximum is 350. So you would think a good part of the time we'd get the maximum on there of 200 kilowatts during charging, but you rarely do at this station I go to for reasons that are not very clear. But anyhow, we're now sitting in our main screen. We'll go over here, and this gives us all kinds of different things. Oh, voice guidance is off. Oh, isn't that interesting? Basic, since I'm in the navigation mode, I'll go back here. We have it says HUD position. Let's go on here. I don't have it turned on. Positions in demo mode. How do you turn it on? I don't like, as you probably know, I don't like these things. I don't like, this is all the different things you can do with it, I guess, if you have it. Status. There we go. 10,799 miles, and total distance, and then distance is 0 on this trip. 45.3 miles is, I believe, what I set as far as the manual trip setting. But you got to look, you got to find it. You know, you got to go in the status and do all that. Exterior lights, mirrors, headlights. Let's move over here. Interior. Heads-up display. It's now active. There it is. Can you see it floating around in there like a ghostly apparition and blinking? There it is. So if you're into those things, there you go. You got one. You can adjust brightness and all that other good stuff. If you're like, all kinds of things you can put on your heads-up display if you are so inclined. Cockpit. Now, can I change? Reset start driving, long-term driving, reset the trip distance. That's what I did. I've been in here before, and that's what I did. So that's how that happens. Now, this vehicle can take your CarPlay from Apple or your Android Auto. So I have Apple CarPlay in here, and there we are. And there is my Waze navigation, my personal favorite, right there. So this integrates very seamlessly with the vehicle, and it does it with Bluetooth, so you don't have to plug anything in, which is very nice. Before I get there, though, I do want to show a couple of things. On the left side stalk, which is our turn signal stalk, we also have all our windshield wiper array stuff, including there is a rear windshield wiper, which is great. You always want those. Some cars you would think have them, don't, but this one does. And on the right-hand side, here's our shifter. You tilt it up to go to drive or braking, which is primarily a mode where you can concentrate your regenerative braking. to try to get some juice back in the driveway. If you're going down a long mountain pass or something like that, you can get a lot of battery power back on those things. Then you have neutral, then you have reverse, and then park is over here. So because this stalk is here, all the windshield wiper stuff is moved over there. So that's something slightly different. If you're not used to that array, it will take you about driving it twice before you're up to speed with no problem. Now here, I have not been able to locate a, wait a minute, what's this? No, I don't think this thing has a wireless charger anywhere. Now this folds up into here. If you want to get it completely out of the way, you can do that. But I like having my cup holder, and I don't know what the heck is up with that. You can open the sliding side doors from here if you want. Whee! And there she goes. How about that? And then close it if you want. And you can turn that off, the power assist off. But you're probably going to want to stick with that. Oh, way down in this cubby, there's a cubby here. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on, where's my phone? I think I found I knew this thing had to have wireless charging. It just would. So I'll put that down in there. Does it fit? No. So that's obviously, well, there, I stuck that in there. Is that charging? I don't see any indication of charging taking place. So I probably just wedged it in there and it won't come out now. Yeah, that's probably what I've done. I don't know. I don't have an owner's manual on this thing, so I can't tell you. But I can tell you there are 2 USB-C ports. Now, are you a charging thing? It feels like it is. More experimentation is necessary. But anyway, back on the screen, where's our ventilation stuff and our heating and our air conditioning? Well, if you can avoid all the bats, why all the Halloween stuff? Because it's Halloween in a few days. Here's how you access your system. You can just hit climate right here. This will give you a much more exploded view of everything you might want to do, including particular. I'm going to turn the sink on and off just because I can. If I do that, that should pop the temperature up on that right-hand side for that zone, but I don't see it. So maybe it don't work that way. And what's this here? Is that back or front? I don't know. It's all a mystery, and that's what you get during Halloween. You get lots of mysteries. But there's your heating, ventilation, and air conditioning unit. There are no hard buttons on this thing for any of this stuff. You have to do it all via touchscreen. And it's a big touchscreen. I mean, that's everything about the interior of this thing is big and roomy. But I really don't know for sure what you got in terms of, well, first of all, I remember a little bit about the original Volkswagen Microbus as far as what the control array was, but boy, we're really racking my memory because I was just a little kid. And I don't remember if there were toggle switches like Minis tend to have now or what it had, but it had something different. And I would have thought in a way there might be a few switches that were nostalgic put in this thing, but no, they've gone 100% full modern tech with all the switch gear and everything else. So, you know, that's the way it is. Either you're going to love that or kind of, some of you older folks out there, you may long for the original, but for anybody else that just likes a good minivan, they'll get used to it. Just like you're being told that you're going to do it this way now, folks. Everything, get used to everything from artificial intelligence to everything else telling you what to do, because that's where we are in 2025, and it's not a good place in my opinion. But these things have a habit of working themselves out eventually. So we'll see what happens. Now here, we have a little console here, and there's nothing down inside of this. However, you can take this whole console, should you choose, and chuck it away. I got this thing here. See, there it goes. It just detached and attached back up. So you can pull it all the way out if you want, and just have an aisle through here. You have that option. And that's kind of cool. Now, some of you may be thinking, hey man, hey Boots, how about a driver's mode selector? Where's that? Well, there is one, driving mode, and it's right there. And you have eco. Why is it? It always seems to go back to comfort. There's comfort. There's sport. Naturally, there's no redness here. I'm surprised. And then you have custom, where you can select quite a few different things here. Driving dynamics, steering. I don't know what this will give you, the comfort, and sport. I don't know what sport does to the driving dynamics. I'll have to look at the suspension, but I don't think there's any adjustment there. But down here we have drivetrain, has eco, comfort, and sport. And then we have everything set on comfort, isn't it? Light assist. What is that? Comfort, sport, light assist. I don't know what the heck that is. Adaptive cruise control, comfort, and I bet there's a sport setting for that. Well, we'll put it on eco. That's probably when you're resuming your speed, I would think. When it slows down and even stops for traffic, it probably. What we're going to do here is, let's do this. Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. Let's go to sport. Let's see if it takes off like a jackrabbit when we're driving it. Just for fun, we can do that. What else? What else? Is there anything important in this region of the car? There is no panoramic roof or moonroof or any hole cut in the ceiling. There's nothing there. You do have an SOS thing that appears to be, I bet that's subscription based. You do have some really nice, oh, there he is. You do have some really nice map lights though, that are LED map lights. And you got plentiful room in your glove box. It's not all that deep, but certainly deep enough to put your laptop computer, not laptop, your tablet computer in there. Over here on the right, it appears that we have a USB-C port down there, as well as your light switches, your window and everything else. So same over here. I don't see any LEDs. What's this? Oh, that's probably the, no, it ain't. Well, there is a way to get into that charging port, because I found it when I first got here. But anyway, there's plentiful room. I mean, there's 6 inches above my head in terms of headroom, and there's plenty of leg room and plenty of adjustability, whee, as we slide back a little bit. So room, and more room. Nothing fancy going on with our rear view mirror out here. You don't have any like a camera, 2 cameras on the back or anything like this. Do we have surrounding cameras on this vehicle? Yeah. If we put her into drive right now, and let's see if we start to drive a little bit, what happens. Well, let's do that. We'll just take off. Here we go. And no, I don't see any lights coming on. I mean, any cameras, I should say. But if we put it in reverse, there is our backup camera. And this is a 360 camera, so maybe there's a way to access this thing somehow where you can use your other cameras. There's gotta be, right? Surely, there must be, surely. I don't see anything, though. Like I said, folks, I apologize. I do not have an owner's manual for this car, so it'd be real easy to figure this stuff out. I don't see anything. Is there anything up inside? Nope. That's just vehicle favorites. How about light assist, climate control, steering, drivetrain, driving demands, eco, comfort, sport, custom. Oh, that was that. We were all the way doing that. This drive mode supports an economical driving style. The vehicle accelerates more smoothly. The powertrain and climate control settings are limited and may have a reduced output. And if you floor it, no matter what mode you're in with any of these vehicles, if you floor it, you'll get full power. Don't worry. It's there. All right, so let's, what do you say we head back into the nether regions of this vehicle? I swear, will my phone fit in there? Sorry about that. All right, let's go back aft. This is where we really get crazy with all our room. Power assisted, of course. Whee! Look at there. Let me get out of the shot here. Great access, as you can see. We'll check out our. Let's do this. All right. We'll do this, and then you press this button here, and it'll shut the door for you. And this is your fan for your heating and air conditioning, I believe. You do have two nice map lights up there, and look at all this room. I have the front seats back fairly far too, and look at all this room you got. It's just ridiculous. Tons and tons of room at your availability. And this should open this window, but it don't. Oh, there's a full good look at this, by the way. It just does it whenever it wants to, but there's our Halloween motif. And I would imagine shortly after this, we will have our, it turned itself off. That's why it did this. I opened the door and it turned it, like I said, folks, it does what it wants. Not what you want, what it wants. All right, let's try this again. There we go. There is our little side window. You don't get the whole window, but you get a decent sized one. I mean, unless you have like an enormous Malamute or something like that, your dog will be fine. I know you're worried about that. I'm trying to close this now. Close. How are you? There we go. That's weird. You pull back in both circumstances for it to go forward or for it to go aft. That's just the way you do it. But anyway, lots of room. Here's a pocket for, I don't know what. I guess you could put your phone in there if you wanted to. Oh, it's very, very soft in there. But here's here we go. We're on Eco, and here is our setting for our second row and our ventilation up here. Ventilation all over the place. It's real wide, this vehicle. You can get three across like comfortably. Do we have an armrest here? No, we actually don't. There is no center armrest. It is more situated, if you will, to have three people here. But like I said, totally flat load floor, tons and tons of room, tons of headroom. I mean, you could get large people. You could get a basketball team back here, I think, without too much drama. It's pretty interesting. But anyway, that's your room there. And let's do this. What are we going to do? Oh, I know what. Let's go to the third row, shall we? So we'll access the power, because you don't want to be sliding them doors back and forth on your own. And we'll take this, do this, and look, it pivots and slides forward to access the third row, the all-important third row. There we go. And it's fairly upright. Can I do anything about that? I think I can. I don't know what it's telling me. It can be quiet. That's what it can do. I don't see anything down here. It's probably telling me self-destruct mode has been engaged. I don't blame it. I think this tilts back, but I'm not sure exactly how you do that. Hang on. I don't see any... There's got to be a way to do this, because I've done it. How did I do it? Here's this. Pull that, and nothing happens. Okay, that's good. I understand that. Well, this reclines a little. Oh, wait a minute. What about that? No? Huh. Well, there's plenty of room for two people. You don't have your knees in your chest, because the floor is far enough away that you can sit fairly upright. And if I could figure out how, hey man, dude, do you know how to do this? No, I don't. Pardon me. Let's see here. Let's look back here. Let's look back here, shall we? Now I thought this maybe, but you can't do anything with this. So is there any way? Oh yeah, I see a little. Hey, what about this? See if I can hurt myself. There we go. Look at that. Ugh. Look at there. You go around there and pull this little thing right here. Oh, ow. Oh, there we go. I think that's going to be much more comfortable. Let's check. Oh, yeah, that's nice. It's flat, but it's comfortable. You do have your map lights right there. And there's speakers, it looks like, speakers back here to keep you entertained with your tunes. There is a USB-C port. There's this area for pens and pencils, or I don't know. You can put your hemostats there. You know, I'm not saying, maybe you're a physician and you need your hemostats. But boy, there's this thing has plenty of room, plenty of headroom. I'd say 2 or 3 inches over my 5'8" physique. And so again, so you can easily get 2 people up front, 3 people on this one, and 2 adults back here. So that's 7 passengers. But 7 passengers, a lot of vehicles claim that, but this is like really a comfortable 7 passenger thing. And incidentally, for your knowledge, this 3rd row here, you can remove these seats if you want to. It's not that big a deal. It's heavy, yeah, but you can get rid of them and chuck them if you want. Chuck them away. And I'm not sure if the final measurement in terms of your overall room back here is with the seats in or out, but I know there is a maximum of 175 feet of cubic storage for God knows whatever you need to put in this car. It's pretty amazing, actually. It's so big that you could get a refrigerator in here, I think. I mean, it's huge. So you and your buds, you head off to the Dead concert with all your camping gear. I don't know why it's doing that. I think it's telling me there's a foghorn on or something like that. But so tons and tons and tons of room in this Vanagan. No, there was the VW Vanagan, wasn't there? Yeah, I keep forgetting that. That was like an intermediate. This is so much more interesting, and to me, largely due to the paint scheme and other things, and just the overall design is much more nostalgic for the original Microbus. So it will not disappoint if you need a lot of room, folks. This is a very, very capacious machine. The day grows closer to Halloween. Yeah. Well, off we go, like the doodah man. What a long, strange trip it's been. You know, the thing about a Volkswagen Microbus, which this pays great homage to, is if, you know, you got all your automated steering and everything nowadays, and all you got to do with this thing, you just take your hands off the wheel, it'll take you to the next Dead concert. It's pretty amazing how that functions. It's a spiritual thing. It is a spiritual thing that unites the people of, what's going on with this thing? What the hell? Well, why aren't I moving? There, now it's starting to move. Whoa, whoa. We do have very, very limited ground clearance on this vehicle. And we have rear wheel drive, which is great. And you can get all wheel drive if you desire. But there's not a lot of ground clearance. The old microbuses had ridiculous amounts of ground clearance. And people got them stuck in all kinds of interesting areas. But on the whole, it was rear engine, rear wheel drive, and this vehicle is rear motor, rear wheel drive, which is incidentally a boon to people who just call the engine a motor no matter what it is. If it's an internal combustion engine or it's an electric motor, they just call it the motor. So as you can see, it's got this huge thing here with these 2 pillars that are not good for a blind spot perspective when you come to I'll show you in just a minute why that's not good. Ooh, this is heated up. I can tell my steering is on heated. Now, how do I do this? Oh, here we go. No, we want that off. No, no, no. I'm trying to learn the ways of the Volkswagen and cooling, heating. Jeez. Maybe that bat is that bat actually the steering? No, it's not. But boy, it's getting hot here. Now, how do I turn that off? It's always complex. Settings. Seat settings. No. Well, I have to figure this all out. How about what this is? Oh, here we go. Now, how about steering? Do you see it? Do you see it? I don't see it. It's one of those things that I'm going to have to figure out. There we go. What's it doing all the way over there? How weird is that? Very weird. All right, now we go back here. And now we go back here. And there we are. Boy, that's weird. The steering heating is all the way over here when it should be like right here. But man, just calm, just chill, dude. Still feels warm. Is this still on, this heating? This steering wheel heating? Ain't that cold outside. It's 49 degrees. That's not exactly freezing. It doesn't feel like this is off. Why is this on? I'm looking everywhere to figure this out, and I'm going nowhere. Well, let's just chill, man. Come on. It's a very chill kind of car. I think the steering wheel's starting to cool down. That's good. I didn't even have it on all the way. Boy, I think this could fry your hands if you... Oh, here it is. It's over here. That's exactly where it should be. Steering wheel heat is on. Now it's off. And we get smoke on the water even though I didn't ask for it. Smoke on the water and fire in the sky. Man, this is a hippie van. I like this hippie van. There seems to be a lack of cannabis. This is very surprising. I don't know if I've ever been in a minibus that didn't have cannabis. Especially since it's legal. Well, it was until other people are still trying to make it illegal because they're jerks. I mean, just back off, man. People have to have something to take the chill off. Take the edge off, I should say. The chill goes on, edge goes off. You see, maybe there's some kind of electronic type of cannabis that's being pumped in the cabin right now, and I just don't realize it. But it is a Grateful Dead wagon, and I seem to be able to see dead people everywhere, and then I am reminded that it's Halloween. Well, of course I do. Of course. Seems to have very little road noise considering this is a great big box on wheels. Oh, I meant to show you up there. But anyway, these pillars, I mean, you got a lot of visibility and it's very good, except whenever you put a pillar in front of the windshield like this, you could miss a car that's coming towards you when you stop and the highway is going this way or this way. That there can be a car stuck in it and you'll pull right out in front of it. Now, I have not heard of this being a problem, but there's one intersection we have here that I am absolutely convinced there's been 2 or 3, since I've lived here, 2 or 3 fatal crashes because people, either they didn't look or they didn't, more likely they didn't see the car in the A-pillar of their vehicle, and every vehicle is different. It's about what the frontal visibility is like. And the bottom line becomes, you got to be careful. You got to look and look and look again. Pretend you're on a motorcycle. You look, and then you look again. And always remember, whoever you see on the road is probably going to do the dumbest possible thing you can imagine. Because that's just the way human beings are. They do these silly things. And we don't know why exactly, but they do. Whee! Very smooth ride on this vehicle. I imagine it's really smooth when you have it loaded full of, concert goers or your offspring. There's so much room. As a minivan goes, I can't help but wonder if this is the top of the line in terms of room, because it really does feel that spacious. I think they've done a great job with that, no question about it. It doesn't have a whole lot of range, this thing. And I can't plug it into my house. It's impossible. They have no plug to plug it into the house, so you have to go to a charging station. You can get a cable and a plug for it, but that's actually costs extra, which is mind-boggling to me that they do it that way. They're literally assuming, A, you have a charging station at your house, or B, you're very convenient to a commercial charging station where you just go up and get it charged. And you know, that's crazy, because most people do not live in these circumstances. Up here, I'm saying. In a lot of places, you know, the best places I've seen to own an electric car are places where you really don't need a car anyway, so go figure. But I'm enjoying driving this thing because it just feels very, very at home on the road. This would be a great trip vehicle, provided that you have to stop every 200 miles and give it a full charge to keep on going. So from a Grateful Dead concert going perspective, you really have to be laid back in your travel activities in order for this to be the optimal. But except for the range limitations, everything else about it's pretty nice. It even has a very good sound system on it. What did I just do? How did I? The turn signal, incidentally, is where your windshield wipers are as well, as you just saw. Oh, listen to that. That's the sound of they've piped in the sound of the turn signal in such a way that it's like very, I don't know why I'd say this, because I don't think I ever actually drove a microbus, but I'd ridden in a few, and I don't remember the turn signal being so pronounced, but maybe it was. I think there are so many nostalgic touches to this thing, especially like I love the fact that it's a rear engine, rear wheel drive minivan. That makes it unique out there these days. There was like the Ford Aerostar that was, well, it was rear wheel drive, but it wasn't rear engined, rear motored, rear powered. All right. Now we shall go. Do. Lately, it occurs to me what a long, strange trip it's been. Oh, mud. I don't want to get this thing muddy. I'm going to tiptoe through the mud area. There we go. Woohoo! Naturally, this thing has like 430 foot-pounds or something like that of torque. And with that rear-wheel drive, you just touch and woo, off you go. It's pretty great in that respect. There we are. Let us proceed with our examination.
You see that sign? No shirt, no shoes, no dice.
Right. Learn it. Know it. Live it.
Well,
It has become very dreary outside as we head towards, wireless charging cannot be used. Possible reasons include well, yeah, I can't charge. I was charging earlier. Let's try this. Put her in upside down. That'll confuse everything. Oh, looks like it's charging now. You got to get it in there just right for the charging. So here I am, tootling along. And there's people driving in what I would describe as I don't want to be mean, but the bats will come for you. Yeah, that works. So I'm going to try to change my mode here to travel assist. We are now travel assisting, and it should be driving and customizing my lane position to try to stay in the very middle as I head towards the charging station. I currently have 58% left on this battery with a range, it says, of 142 miles. I don't know how realistic that is, but there you go. And I have to keep track of things because I require the use of my phone also. Don't want it running out because I need it to access the charging station, you see. All these stupid smart devices with all their chips, they're all connected to each other. And see, I got an Australian telling me where to go there. In 1 mile, take a right turn. Even though we drive on the opposite side of the road as you Yanks do. I've always wondered about that, if I use the Australian voice, if it's going to lead me astray, thinking I'm driving on the left side of the road instead of the right side of the road. All these balloons and all kinds of things here, as if that is a place to mark where someone passed. I have no idea why they could have had a wreck right there, but apparently something very strange. Very sad. All right, let's decrease our speed a bit here, and we will take this right turn.
Exit right.
And here we go. I have to slow down now unless I run into this person. Whoa. There we go, we'll reserve. And let's see if it will now start maintaining or if it somehow, when I hit the brakes, if it disconnected. What mode yep, I'm in the same mode I need to be in. Good for this. It assessed the situation and has responded accordingly. Boy, it is just really gloomy out here. That is for sure. But it's doing a good job of self-steering. Take over steering. I got it. It's so interesting to me that they want you to let the car steer, but they're constantly telling you just to have your hands on the wheel. And they want you to, now it's like doing a little dance in my hand. And it's like a ghost is driving this vehicle. A ghostly presence, if you will. Oh, according to this, I am charging, so good for the thingy doing the charging. I really appreciate that. Wow, dude. Here's something that does not jive with my mainframe. Here's the thing. Now, I was trying to charge this thing up to 100%, you see, and it stopped at 80, and so I plugged it back in to my charging station here at Electrify America, and it still wouldn't charge past 80, and I couldn't figure it out. So I called I called Electrify America's helpline, and I got help right away. It's very good, and she was very nice, and she asked what kind of car I'm charging, and I told them it's this ID Buzz, the Microbus of the 2000s and 25s. And she said, well, I think what the problem is your car is stopping it at 80%. I said, whoa? So I said, thank you, and I hung up, and I went in and got into the settings, and sure enough, it was stopping it at 80%. Down here it says maximum 80% recommended. And I got a notification up here just a minute ago that said, the next charging, we're not going to let you charge past 80%. So what is up with that? I think that's part of battery conditioning or something like that. But here's the thing. I think that's ridiculous to have to do that. Because there's times you need 100%. You need all the range, especially this thing, since It's up to 215 mile range at 87%. But I need every bit of range this thing has because the charging station that I'm going to here is quite a ways from my house. And that is because that's just the way things are. So anyway, that's what's that about here. We're now at, according to this, we're now at 88%, as you can see, 6 minutes. So I had 2 charging sessions to charge this up to 100%. The first took it up to 80, and the second is now taking it from 80 to 100%. And that is because I had to reconfigure the settings for how much it would charge. So that's something you should know about with this vehicle, with this Microbus. I don't know if it's copacetic or not, but you know, what are you gonna do? Well, so here we have our undercarriage of our ID4 Buzz. ID Buzz, sorry. The ID4 is actually a different Volkswagen electric. And as you can see, there's a whole lot of plastic here that is designed to protect and enhance aerodynamic ability. And my instrument is, here we go. There we go. All this plastic in here. Naturally, just like the original Microbus, we have rear motor and rear wheel drive. And you can get an all-wheel drive version if you want. But this, so far, I haven't had any difficulties with traction, even though there's a lot of torque. And there has to be because it's hauling around about 6,000 pounds before your 7 passengers get on board. So the suspension itself, it has to be very stout. Look at the size of this coil spring here. It looks very thick, very thick. And the rear deck is now opening again by itself because I moved around underneath the car. I tell you, this thing really, if you like personality, it has a lot because it's constantly doing stuff on its own that I don't want it to do. It's like a child. But here we have ample protection or ample aerodynamic efficiency, depending on how you look at it. What their ultimate aim is, a little bit of both, I think. There's an area right in here where you can attach a hitch receiver, and they say you can tow up to 2,600 pounds with this thing, as long as the trailer has brakes on it. And that would probably zap your range pretty badly, and the range itself is already only 230 miles, so plan accordingly. Take frequent breaks, man, when you're going to the concert with your pop-up tent. So what else can I show you? Not much, because everything is hidden away, but the fact of the matter is, it looks like the suspension is quite stout to handle all this weight, and it does deliver, I think, a very good ride. And when you combine that with all the fact that you probably have a whole lot of passengers in it, they will appreciate that ride. You have a fair amount of ground clearance, more than I actually thought the thing had, which is a pleasant surprise. But still, you got to be cautious. You don't want to punch a hole in this area up here where you have your stuff, your batteries, which, there we go, there we are. Your batteries are right up in there, in that huge flat thing right there. Don't punch no holes in that, but you don't have to worry about running, knocking stuff off like, oh, I don't know, exhaust systems and all the associated things, drive shafts, whatever. That's one of the beauties of the electrics, is they're very, very, very smooth on the underside. There is no protruding anything that you have to worry much about. So anyway, a very sophisticated multi-link rear suspension, and off you go. Smooth ride, controlled ride. Doesn't handle fantastic, but it handles quite stably. There's a degree of stability in the handling. So you can go your way in safety and happiness with your friends. Okay then, so our 2025 ID Buzz Pro S Plus has a suggested retail price of $63,495. And when you tack in destinations charges and another $1,000 or so for that cherry red and metro silver paint job, our total comes to $66,040. So what do we think about this car, ladies and gentlemen? Well, first of all, it will cost you a bit of money to purchase.
Uno dinero.
What have you got, Mr. Buckman?
I got a cigarette.
I got uno Nicaragua.
It's about what I got these days, too. But so anyway, I really enjoyed this thing. I have to be real honest with you. This is a very, very fun machine. And all in all, I had a great time driving it. I'm actually, frankly, amazed at how much I enjoyed it. But it is a master of space. And it also is a master of nostalgia. And it only has the regular drawbacks you have with an electric vehicle. It takes a while to charge it, and the range is, especially for a vehicle like this, is kind of limited. But if you can get around that stuff, man, this is a very fun, useful vehicle. So you guys be careful out there. Cowabunga. See you later.
Whatever the tube tells you, you dress like the tube, you eat like the tube, you raise your children like the tube, you even think like the tube. This is mass madness, you maniacs. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are the illusion.